this is what the water mixer looks like. You've got the port that goes into the manifold, the block. You got the thermostat. You got the lower radiator hose. Then you got this hard line to the output of the heater core. And you've got a silly O-ring that sits inside there, which the hard line connects to, which you should replace when you're doing your timing belt or whatever. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is going to mock this up. I'm going to take the hard line out, flip this 180 so that this guy is sitting on this side, and see if it clears the belt. Alright, I've reached a snag, team. So I've got the water mixer flipped 180 degrees, and you can see how the radiator inlet is really close to the belt, so I don't think that's going to work. So options are either to not run power steering, which is a big no for me, or to cut the inlet pipe and angle it out a bit so that's a bit closer to the sway bar or away from the belt. Like, oh man, if it's only like 5 mil further out, it would have been perfect, but whoops. Here's the top view of what I'm talking about. That's the flipped over manifold, the mixing manifold, and this guy here is just a couple bees willy too close to the belt. So I'm thinking now, maybe if I were to cut down through here and extend it maybe 5 mils towards the fans, or I could reuse the old hard line that used to sit on the right side there, and if I could cut, oh, maybe use this like L bracket here, L-shaped pipe here, cut it here, and then JB weld it to the cut sling there. Yeah, and maybe that will give me enough angle outwards to connect the turbo, the water line feed there. The only thing is that I would prefer to weld it, but I think this is steel and that's aluminum, so you can't really weld those two unless I JB weld it, which I have a lot of down there. But either way, I can't run it like that. So I think the solution is to cut it, extend it somehow, and then connect it up. So here's what I've done. I have cut the end off from the water mixer, and I'm going to space that out with a bit of tape to find out exactly how far I need, how much material I need from the water mixer to the fans, so I can fit in one of these pipes in. Okay, I trial fitted it with the extension of the tape, and it looks like that much is how much I need to extend it to be perfectly in the middle between the belt and the fan. So the distance between the belt and, well, the anti-roll bar. So we fit it right perfectly in the middle. Now I just gotta get the angle right and rotate it a bit towards this way. But what I'm thinking is, if I get because this is the one that came from the engine, I do have another one that I bought as a spare part, and I'm going to use that as the good one. I might hack this guy off, hack a bit off here, and then use this piece as my extension. Okay, right, this is the donor inlet pipe, the donor mixing manifold. And as you can see, it's a lot cleaner than the other one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it exactly the same spot where I did the first one, and then put in that extra ring piece inside, and then weld it. So one weld between this and the ring, and the ring to the elbow. The other thing he did there was he helped me cut that fitting off, and then threaded and sealed it with a bolt, as well as machining a plug with a tapped hole to put inside here. So I'm going to JB weld that after I finish welding and that's gonna go to the thermostat where this one used to be. So that's gonna come out and go all the way up. So I'm just prepping the weld station, and look what we have here. Ooh, MX5 turboed. I think they're doing wheel spacers to fit the rims. But man, that is cool. Kind of see what's under the hood though. But I'm gonna wait for the owners to get back and I'll ask them. Check it out. All right, let's set up the welder for TIG to weld these three pieces together. Mazda engineers generally left the casting mark in here, so I'm gonna line up all the lines together, as well as this piece over here. So I'm gonna line those lines up, so I don't need to know which orientation it goes because it's already done for me. All right, time to TIG weld. I'm gonna start like Taylor Ray in his videos with a weather update on where he's staying, and it is freaking good outside here in Auckland, New Zealand. What's even better is that I've finished welding the extension of the water mixer. So we're gonna put this in the car and see if I've done it correctly. Which I think I fucked up. I messed up. I didn't think what I was doing and I welded it the wrong way. I blame the RX3, I think, for distracting me. Now I gotta cut this and weld it on 180. Alright, finally got it welded up the correct way. It's supposed to go downwards like that so that it goes towards the bottom radiator outlet. So we're gonna chuck this back onto the car and hopefully I've got the distance right, otherwise we're gonna do this again. Okay, sorry for the awful lighting, my LED light died, so it's charging at the moment, but good news, finally, the distance that I extended the water neck, not the water neck, the mixer is correct, and I can get my old hose, like just for a test, I can get that on there, and then there's enough space there for me to put a clamp on and not foul the belt. So what I'm gonna do now is gonna cut it on the straight, add my adapter, and then find a way to make these guys fit. But you know, that's the least of my worries, but I'm happy that that turned out pretty good. So this is what it looks like. Got the adapter with the hose clamps on. I've just temporarily mocked up where it's gonna go. If I bring you around this way, that's probably a better shot there. So you got the mixer, got one coupler there, then the adapter, which is a silver bit, and then another hose goes into there. I'm missing a hose clamp there, so I'll put it on when I finalize the thing. And that line there goes for the return for the heater core. So I haven't put a line up there, but it looks pretty sweet on the way top. So I'm happy that way that this turned out, and let's sort out the next thing on our list. So before we move on, there's the up view, the top view of the adapter, the fitting and the inverted water neck. And you can see that none of the hose clamps touch the belt. The next thing I want to tackle is the oil feed. The light is placed like that because we need to get to that bolt there. That is a high pressure oil feed used in the front wheel drive configuration, and all we're doing is just making use of that. There are two bolts there, but we will be using the bottom one. Now it's time to put in the oil adapter, which goes from the block to an AN fitting. And then from the AN fitting, it's the oil feed line to a banjo bolt to the turbo.